We had had a turbulent 20 years of democratic experience. No matter the imperfections and challenges in the system, the mere fact that we were able to sustain continued democratic governance for 20 years is a cause for celebration. The mere fact that Nigerians could freely express their opinions has psychologically freed them from bondage. And we had challenges, no doubt about it. When it comes to the leadership question, of all Allah's gifts to humanity, power is the most ephemeral of them. You cannot remain in power forever. The maximum number of years you can spend as a governor is 8 years. So whether you like it or not, you will spend more years of your life outside power than in power. But one terrible mistake, one terrible error of judgment that leaders make in this country when it comes to succession is that issue of ruling by proxy. They believe that if they can put a weak, mediocre person, they will be in a position to manipulate the system from behind the scene. There is no dangerous person than a dull person with power. Even an intelligent man might be intoxicated. If you give power to a dull person, he is threatened by his own shadow. He sees everyone as an enemy, and he is vulnerable to the manipulation of power mongers who will come and surround him and create unnecessary scenarios. Well, my own perspective on Cabal. Cabal may have some negative connotation in the Nigerian context. I would rather prefer to call it the inner caucus or the power cycle. But by and large, power does not exist in a vacuum. Whether under the maximum leadership of Olusegun Obasanjo or the later peer free-wheeling leadership of Goodluck Ebele Jonathan. From the dawn of history. But we can continue to delude ourselves and harbor the illusion that we can have a perfect setup where leadership works like an automaton. But it isn't like this. In every setup, there are people from behind the scene that are making things work. But my only prayer and wish is that the caucus or cabal, or whatever name you prepare to call it, should work for the collective good of the society, should work for the positive transformation of the society. When my favorite American president, Richard Milhouse Nixon, was in power, we had what they call the German shepherds. They were called the Berlin Wall because of their German-sounding names. Bob H.R. Haldeman, John Ehrlichman, and of course Henry Kissinger. They were controlling access to the president. When Jimmy Carter was the president of the United States, of the 7 people that he appointed earlier on as his presidential aides, six of them were from Georgia. The American press were referring to them as the Georgian, not even cabal, but the Georgian gang. And as we are talking now, the most powerful man in Britain is Dominic Cummings, the man behind Brexit, the strategic advisor to Boris Johnson. My namesake, the late General Qasem Soleimani, was part of the cabal in Iran. He was very close to the Supreme Leader Ali Khamenei. The press are in love with liberal-minded people. The American press were in love with Obama. They call his own the Obama people, not the Obama cabal. But his 2 chiefs of staff, Rahm Emanuel and William Daley, were from Chicago. His 2 advisors, Valerie Jarrett and David Axelrod, your colleague in CNN, They're all Chicagoans. So also were two ministers. And Duncan, the Secretary of Education. And Penny Priskell, the Commerce Secretary, were all Chicagoans. 16 top White House positions, apart from lower level apparatus, came from Chicago. We have come a long way with Professor Zulu, for one. And our relationship is anchored on mutual trust and confidence. And most importantly, as I said earlier, there can never be two captains on the same ship. Once you cease to be a governor, believe me, the sooner you realize, recognize, realign, and marry yourself to the ground realities, the better. And for me and Zulum, we have truly worked on that. We are partners for the greater good of Borno. It's not an issue of supporting Oshiomhole or opposing him. It's about issue of constitutionality and rule of law. If you are opposed to Oshiomhole, you have every right to support or oppose him. Oshiomhole is not a local government chairman of the party that you can easily kick him out. He's the chairman of the ruling party, and of course the national chairman, a two-time governor, a performing governor of Edo State, and most importantly, he led the largest labor movement in Africa. So he deserves to be treated with respect, dignity, and courtesy by anyone. So if anybody has an axe to grind with Oshiomhole, there are constitutional processes of removing a national chairman. And let's give it to him. There are challenges in the party, but you can't blame him solely as the cause of all the challenges in the party. We had challenges in Zamfara. Can you solely blame him for the challenges in Zamfara? The loss in Bauchi, it was just the local dynamics of Bauchi politics that came to the fore, not Oshiomhole as a person. We lost Adamawa not because of Oshiomhole. We lost in Adamawa because of the local dynamics of Adamawa politics. Every onlooker, as Franz Fanon said, is either a coward or a traitor. I am not an onlooker. I am in support of Oshiomhole. Whoever that the president supports, we are going to align ourselves with that presidential aspiration. So long as President Buhari did not say, I don't want Oshiomhole, I want Oshiomhole out, then it will be another ball game. But for now, the president is solidly behind Oshiomhole. Well, they are entitled to their own opinion, but the party has the depth and the breadth to survive a post-Buhari era. Buhari is a force to be reckoned with in the political dispensation of this country. I can assure you that Buhari will work assiduously, much more than his own re-election, because a success without a successor is a failure. I'm absolutely certain that at the appropriate time, President Buhari will step in and ensure that a mechanism is put in place for the selection of a successor who will move the nation and the party forward. But as I said, we don't need an evil president. Neither do we need a Yoruba president. We are not interested in an Arewa president. We want a Nigerian president.
Meaning there should be no zoning.
Not that there should be no zoning, but a Nigerian with a pan-Nigerian vision, a Nigerian with a national vision, not a Nigerian who hardly knows other parts of the country, who hardly goes beyond his own cocoon, who sees himself as an Igbo man, or as a Hausa man, or as a Kanuri man, before as a Nigerian. For me, as a person, I should be ever grateful to God. I'm one of the luckiest members of my generation. I became the governor after spending 4 years in politics, not because of my intellectual acumen, not because of my pedigree, not because of my political sagacity, neither because of my physical prowess, because there are people much bigger and more stronger than me in Borno. But Allah, in His infinite wisdom and mercy, made me the governor of Borno State. So forever, I shall be grateful to God and the people of Borno and the people of Nigeria. We should always try to look at those below us. For 200 million people, for you to have that inordinate ambition to rule them at whatever cost is the height of lunacy. My own take on it is that I belong to two very infamous clubs. Two clubs that Nigerians love to hate. Two groups of Nigerians that Nigerians treat with Cabal this then. That of former governors with our jumbo packages, severance packages, and that of senators. But believe me, the legislature as the third arm of a democratic structure is almost indispensable. So I find it amusing when people talk about discarding the entire Senate itself. If we want to go back to dictatorship or to be ruled by an autocrat, so be it. But if we truly want to practice democracy, the legislature is an indispensable component of our democratic experiment. And come to talk about it, the finance bill. The VAT has been increased by 7.5%. It doesn't come to the executive or to the legislature. The bulk of the VAT collections goes to state government. And the people are not happy with that, but the state governments ought to come out, the state governors ought to come out and robustly defend the increment of VAT to 7.5%. We are charging one of the lowest VAT rates in the world. Do you know the VAT rate in Japan? In South Korea?
They have stronger per capita income.
Well, they might have stronger per capita income, but if you look at it, our revenue base is very weak. We cannot continue, living as if the nation is an El Dorado. Hope springs eternal from the hearts of men. I am an eternal optimist, and I believe that the missing Chibok girls will be found. There was a time when former President Olusegun Obasanjo dismissed up the issue of getting back the Chibok girls until quite a substantial number were gotten. Not only the Chibok girls, believe me, thousands of young boys and girls were kidnapped by the Boko Haram. Some conscripted into their army. Some were sold as slaves. Some are serving as their sex slaves.